Here we are. Hi, everybody. Dan Baumann here with John Schrader as part of Chief Experts in the Designer Show. Welcome today.
Hi.
Appreciate you being here. Hey, John. Um,
Hi.
where are you today again?
I am down kind of in the Ozarks area, about 80 miles east of Springfield, Missouri.
Nice. On the road again. Gotta love
Yep.
it. All right. Well, we're going to get started here in just a second. Today is one of those. Today's one of those. Let's see. What can I call it? I'll call it ran out of bandwidth days. Which I've been doing a lot of that lately. It's just like
Yeah.
you put this list of you put this list of things together. Okay, so I still use my paper to do lists, and I'm still techie, and of course, I think I got in my 10. I've got 3 checked off, 4 checked off. So it's just like, gosh, it just seems to never end. There's always something to do and so much to do. So, and I would assume everybody out there has some of the same problems. So, John Jones, hey John. How you doing? Got Norman from New Zealand with this lovely fish again. I love that fish. And let's see. We got Bill Murray. Oh, there's Mike. Hi, Mike. Happy Freeform Friday. I love it. Yeah, I do too. These are kind of fun. So I got a few things I do want to talk about and show you guys today. And let's see who else we got. We got Bill Murray. Hey, Bill, can you talk about creating macros? I'm not the guy to talk about that. I'll show you how they work, but I'm not a macro guy. I'm sorry. We need to get a macro guy on one of these calls, don't we, John?
Yep. I saw a list somewhere one time about what the macros are in Chief, other than the ones that are given to us.
Uh-huh.
Do you know where that's at? Can we find that?
I don't. I do know what you're talking about. If anybody knows about macros or knows where that list might be, let me know. Not if not today, send me an email, would you? And we'll get someone on. I know there's Joe, the macro guy. He's on Chief Talk, so that might be a good place to go for that.
And
Uh,
I guess a question for Bill: Where are you going to capture that information from? Would be
and I should ask too, what kind of macros are you looking to create? What are you
Hmm.
looking to do? Because there are a lot of things built into the system that you can just use right out of the box. That you just need to add them in the right place. So
Right.
let us know what you're trying to do. That would help a lot. I know you can do custom macros, which it's kind of like writing computer code. It's called Ruby on Rails, I think it's called. Um, I decided a long time ago I didn't want to learn computer code, and to me that's computer code. So I don't want to learn that. Um, uh, Although I know a lot of guys are using it very successfully, so it would be nice to dig into that a little bit. It's kind of like a materialist too. All right, John, you're going to keep an eye on the questions today. Hopefully there will be a bunch coming. Hey, Chad, there's John in God's
Yep.
country. Uh-huh. I hear you're getting
Uh-huh.
together with John here for dinner tomorrow, Chad. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yep.
All right.
He's not.
Real quick, if you guys are in the on the website where you see the meeting where you're posting comments and stuff, you will notice down on the page that there is we got a new course coming up, Bathroom Design Mastery, that I'm going to be doing with Robin Fisher. So by all means, check it out. Coming up in a couple of weeks, we're going to get started with it. It's going to be three. It'll be 3 4-hour sessions. We're going to do a little bit different this time. We try to get through it a little quicker without disrupting your day so much. And then we're going to also do 3 90-minute Zoom calls where you can ask general questions and we can talk about other topics too. So got a lot of stuff to cover. Robin's teaching today, so she can't be on this call with us. Normally she would be joining us, but she is an renowned kitchen and bath designer. So she's got a lot of great information to share with you about bathroom design. So what are the elements that go into a really good bathroom design and all the different things that you can work with doing that. So we'll be getting into a lot of that. And then I'll be talking a lot about doing the bathroom design in Chief Architect. We're going to be talking about creating blocks, creating showers, creating specialty items in your bathrooms, laying out how to do as-built, all sorts of different topics that are very important for doing bathroom design. It's a small room, but there's a lot going on in it. So we're going to talk about all those different things and how you can do this. And we're going to get into, you'll notice when you go to the click here for more info, it talks about, I need to finish updating what we're going to cover. And if you want to join the course, that'd be awesome. And we're still in the process of putting together what we're going to talk about in this course. So if you have some specific things you want to learn, it'd be a great opportunity for you to get it on our syllabus so that we can talk about it. We got it on here, dormers and vaulted ceilings. That's one area in chief that a lot of interior designers, fudge it sometimes. I will cover in great detail how to do that in bathrooms so that you can create those sloping ceilings and things like that. So just all sorts of things. Again, Robin's a whiz with the knowledge she has in all these things, all these topics. And we have a lot of cool things that we're going to cover. And I'm pretty good at Chief, so I think I can show you a few things there. And I assume, John, you'll be joining us too. So I know you always have great things to share. So check it out. Course $695. If you are so inclined, we're got $100 off deal going right now, $100 off Bath Mastery. That's good till next week. So if you just actually click the link at the bottom of that page, it'll take you right to the order form where you could sign up, and for $595 instead of $695, and you'd be good to go. So check that out. If you don't have that link, you can just use that code, which is 100 off Bath Mastery. All right. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate that. We're looking forward to this. Should be a fun course. We had a great time with the kitchen class. It was really a lot of fun. And hopefully everybody learned a ton out of that. In fact, I need to get on with people, get some testimonials. So it did go well. All right. We're always learning. Okay. So what should we start with, John? Let me start with something. All right. Okay, I'm going to start something. I got something I want to show you guys that I found is pretty darn cool. I think it is anyway. Do you ever get a copy of a survey that you wish you had the CAD file for?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Now, here's the caveat to this one thing I'm going to show you. Because sometimes, here's a project I'm working on. Okay. I've got the house out west of town that we're doing some as-built on, and they're going to add a whole bunch of additions. They got a lot of stuff going on in this house. So we've been doing, we did the Matterport scan on the whole house. That went really well. I'm not going to get into that right now. We did a course on Matterport a year ago. If you want to check that out, Matterport's really cool. It's a neat system. And one thing I found out about Matterport is they have a little device coming out. It's a little stand you mount your phone on, and you just go through the rooms and set that, and it'll do the auto spin on the rooms. So you can do your own scans without hiring someone.
It's really inexpensive too.
It's $60 right now to get this device. It's normally going to be like 180, something like that. I mean, you'll still need the Matterport. You'll need the Matterport account to have these different scans in them. Right. You know, I think that's their claim to fame.
I don't think you can have them do the chief architect floor plan for it though.
No, they won't.
Off your camera. You can if you get their equipment, but not off your phone.
I haven't been able to find that. Do you know that, John? Does anybody know? Will Matterport draw the chief file for you like Canvas will?
I'm pretty sure they do.
Okay, I haven't seen it. I was looking for one day. I tried to get the DWG files, but they wanted like $800 from them. It's like, what are you, nuts?
Maybe that's what I'm thinking. It's a DWG, but it wasn't that much money.
Well, because I went over a certain number of square footage, their price just jumped from a little bit to a ton. It was nuts. It's just like, okay, never mind. But the thing is, they gave me these cool ping files that look like this, the PNG files. That's the PNG file from the Matterport scan. It's like, what do I need a DWG for if I got that?
Right.
That'll work just fine. I can trace right over it. So, so those came with the for this particular house. It was just over $3,100. They charged. I had a guy local here to charge $475 to scan the whole property, and he did a few other things for us too on this project. It would have been between $275 and $425. So I thought for what we got, it was pretty cool. But one of the things I on this particular project, I've got a. Sorry to go off topic there, but the owner the contractor sent me a survey. Okay. So it's right here. They sent me a PDF of the survey. And if you look at that, it's obvious that that was printed with a CAD file, with a CAD program. Oops. Okay, come on. Trying to get my PDF over here on the screen so you can see it. It's thinking about something. What time it is? There it is. Okay, so here it is. So if you get a survey and it's like this, so it's a CAD file. Okay, you can convert that to a DWG file for free. And here's how you do that. So if you can't just call a survey and say, hey, send me the DWG file for that, I found a little tool that you might want to check out. It's really cool. It's called, I just searched for PDF to DWG, and let me click on the link that I'd saved here. So here's the website. It's called Convert PDF to AutoCAD.com. Convert PDF to AutoCAD.com. So if you got any kind of a PDF that looks like it might have been created with a CAD file, and I haven't read anything about this. I've only done it a few times, but I've had some that failed, and the ones that failed were not CAD generated. They were hand drawn. Okay, so that's why I'm assuming that's the deal. So all you got to do is click upload. So if I just take my file and I'll take that PDF and upload it here, it's going to zip it through. It's going to convert it. It's going to give me a DWG file that I can download, and bam, I haven't read anything. I don't know anything more about it.
Okay? Imagine if it was a scanned off of a print, it wouldn't work either, probably.
Probably not, but I don't know. So if someone wants to dig into this and let me know, I'd love it. I probably should read it. Read this stuff. I just thought of this right before the meeting. I got to show you guys how this, because it worked really well.
Pretty cool.
So all I did is I click this, download the DWG. As usual, what I do with Chief when I want to bring in a DWG is I never, ever bring the DWG into the plan I'm working on. And the reason you don't want to do that is because when you bring someone else's CAD file in, they'll probably have 200 layers in that file, or maybe less in many cases, but they'll have a lot of layers. And most of the layers aren't being used, but they'll still get imported. And what that does is it raises the holy cane with your layer list, okay, in your plan you're working on. So always open up a new plan and import your DWG into that, and then massage the layers and the lines that you're working with. So if I take this now and I go grab that DWG file that was downloaded from the conversion. Oh, that's already a plan file. What am I doing? Wrong one. Sorry, let me do that over.
Can you, as you're doing that, can you go ahead and show us how to import the DWG into Chief?
Yeah, I'm doing
Is
that
what you're doing right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Here it is, the survey DWG. So I'm just dragging it on the screen. So that's all you got to do. Or you could go to the import DWG file from the pull-down menu file. So any file that's on the import list, you can just drag onto the screen. So then I'll go next, and I always turn this on, and next, and next, and next, and
that's important right there.
Yeah, sometimes it might be done in feet, sometimes it might be done in inches. I believe this one was done in feet.
The other, back up a few screens if you can.
Okay,
the other thing that's really important when you're getting or sending DWGs to a engineer, you need to make sure you put it in a type that they can read. Like if they're not up to date on AutoCAD, you got to get the version that will work.
Where's that again? That is,
I think it was right at the beginning.
Was it? It's not there.
Maybe it's under export. When you export
it's
it,
under the export.
You're trying to import it.
Yeah, you can select different levels.
But that's a really important part, is you get the right right version of the program for
Yep. So I always just do the export the latest version, and then if it doesn't work, then I'll go step back a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to go feet. Important dimension. Import the dimensions. Sure. Import as CAD blocks and move drawing to the origin. Yeah, whatever. Origin would be if the thing was set at 00, which would be the middle of this orange box on my screen. It would come in. So then I'm just hit finish, and there's that DWG scan that I got from that website. So it's all the lines. That's not going to be one continuous line. It's going to convert it to individual items. The text is going to be lines. It's not going to be text. So you may end up deleting that and redoing it. And everything in this came in Did it come in one layer? Yeah, everything's on one layer. So doing the scan is not going to give you different layers for the different items. So you're going to get one layer, which, yeah, again, that's not the end of the world. So then you can just, you know, if you have a dimension somewhere that you know what it is, then you can just check that dimension and scale from that too. You can scale it like any other drawing. So I think the house itself was 60 feet. So if I click on that line and I open its dialog box and I go look at the selected line and I go to number style down here and switch it to feet and inches, I can see that something's not quite right there. It's not the right length. So this is not the right sized CAD file. So I need to convert this. All right. So we should show them how to convert it, John.
So how did you decide to do feet or inches, and how far off is it?
I know for a fact that wall is 60 feet. That I
Okay,
just drew that line I just selected, or find another line that has a dimension on it. The longer the dimension, the better. All right. So number style right down here, when you click in a dialog, you see this little thing called number style. That changes the way the numbers display in these dialog boxes. Doesn't do anything else. That's all it does is just how do you want it to display here? I mean, when I'm working on roofs, I'll always change my angles to pitch. So now it displays as pitch. So in this case, I wanted to just see feet and inches instead of inches. So I change it to that. Now it displays as feet and inches. So if I change the pitch, you'll see how that angle changed to a pitch. So it's really nice. When you're working on different things in your plan, you can change the way it displays in the dialog boxes. All right, so I had to rescale this drawing because it's scanned from a PDF. It doesn't know the exact size of it right off the bat. If you have a full-blown survey, you'll probably have a property line that has a number on it. Use that. Use the longest number possible.
Or so if you know what size paper it was drawn on.
Yeah, you could do that.
There.
Yeah. This one I had no idea. So I'll just rescale it using the same method that we use for scaling a picture, an angled line on a picture. So I'm going to go line style. I'm going to show the length of that line on the screen. So there's the length of that line, 76.76 decimal feet. And I need that line to be 60 feet. So what I'm going to do is select everything in my drawing. I'll just hit Control A. Okay. I've just hit Control A and selected everything in my drawing. And I need to rescale this down so that line is 60 feet and it'll size everything in my plan. So we take that number, we take the number we want divided by the number it is. Okay. Number you want by what it is. I want 60 feet. I need to divide it by that number. So I'm going to go to my resize or my transform replicate down here. And I'm going to go move and I'm going to put 76.76 feet. I like to convert it to inches. I don't know if you do that, John, or do you still do this?
No, because you can do it from feet to feet, but you can't do feet to inches.
Right. So 60 decimal feet. And I need to set this back to fractional inches. So I need to divide 720 by 921. I only use move to get this number, just to get the inches. I'm not going to use move when I'm done here. Okay, so I'm going to uncheck it, and then I'm going to go to my resize.
It's not giving it.
Done. Oh shit, what's going on? Yeah, I got cameras in there. Can't have cameras in there.
That would do it.
Yeah. Got to turn those off. Use my hide layer button. So I've added these icons. Hide layers is one of them. Let's try that again. Okay. So from replicate, and this time we'll check that we can resize. There you go. It's typically the cameras that do that. Okay. So 76.76 feet by 60 feet gives me that many inches. So I'm going to go resize. I'm going to go 720 divided by 921. So I'm doing all the math right in these dialog boxes. Okay. So there's my resize factor right there. 7.781.759. Okay. So that's it. What you have divided by what you want. Just make a note of that. Have, want. I always have to think about that too. I never, especially I haven't done it for a while. So I'm going to uncheck move because I don't want to move it that far.
It's the other way around. What you
No.
want divided by what it is.
Thank you. See, I already screwed it up. All right. You are correct, sir. All right. And I click OK. Now it's going to make this drawing a little smaller. That line I was just looking at should say now 60 feet, 60 feet, 0.01 feet. Yeah, I can deal with that. So I'm going to be good to go now. So now I can put that in my plan, rotate it, do whatever I want with it, block it, clean it up, trace over the lines. That's my next step is I'm going to create the contour lines by tracing over these, and away you go. So it works great.
Do you have the match properties in that? You probably do, don't you?
What do you mean match?
I want to click on one of those lines and see if you have match property.
I'm not following you.
Right here, match properties, right down here at the bottom. You select the line. You're going to do match properties. Everything's on one layer right now, so I'm looking for ways to get it to sort the layers out a little bit. So I want my elevation lines to be on their own layer.
Oh,
so go down to match properties.
What is match properties, John?
The small box with all the little boxes, yellow.
This one?
No, over.
Oh, this one.
Right
I'm
there,
sorry.
that one.
Okay, got it.
And then is there a line type that you can sort that with?
It's not. They're all solid lines.
Line style.
These are just
no. That's it. Isn't it? Is that a dashed line?
No, it's not.
It just recognizes it as a solid line, wouldn't it?
They're all solid lines. So if I open the dialog, it's a solid line. So that's
they're not going to be able to do it like that. So
no.
That would be.
So yes, if the conversion thing's good, it helps. It's going to save a few things. No, it's not going to do everything you want. It's not like having the real DWG file.
Right.
So if I had a real DWG file and I had a ton of layers in here, what I always do with that is I go into each item and I turn my layers on the side over here. And so I do that. And then I rename each of the items that I'm working on. And I'll put the word plot in front of it or DWG or put something in there that defines it. And I'll turn that layer off. And I'll continue to do that with each of the different layers in my plan until all the layers are off. And then once all the layers are off, then I would sort my list to where it says all the same words in front. Then I know I've got just those layers that I'm going to bring into my other plan. Then I copy paste it to my other plan. It works great. So it's nothing worse.
The colors.
Yeah.
Because from Auto CAD, change the colors so you can see them. And stuff.
Yeah. A lot of times they come in yellow and different bright colors. Anyway, that's a little tip for you that I wanted to show you guys today. So, all right. That's all I got for right now.
So Jim, it's just showing short solid lines is all it's doing on that.
I even put
it's not really showing dashed lines.
Right. It's every line from that conversion. I mean, optimally you want the real DWG file the thing was created with. But again, sometimes it's just not possible. Now, there is another software out there I haven't used in years. And it will convert any picture, any PDF into a CAD file. And it's pretty good. I need to dig into that and look at it again. If you just search for PDF to DWG, I think it'll pop up. I'm not going to do that right now, but it's like $250 or $300 to buy the software. And I used that software many years ago to create these 2D symbols that you see. Where did they put them? Oh, I don't remember. But I created a whole ton of symbols that then I ended up working with Chief, and they put them into the thing. Here they are. It's under, where'd they go? I don't remember. But you'll see some 2D CAD details of designer blocks. Maybe it's one of these. No. I don't see it. Anyway, never mind. But you'll see some of cars and plants and things like that. I just had some pictures and I converted them and it worked great. So it does work.
Mike says a Mac app called Text Snipper or Sniper can capture anything that looks like text.
Oh, okay. So maybe it could capture.
Snagit has a text capture too now.
Yeah, you're right. I could do that if I did go to Snagit. If I took this Snagit here and I captured that text as a picture, and then I could go like this and I could tell Snagit to grab the text. Let's see if it does it.
Yeah, you can actually do it.
So
you can actually do it before you even do that, or right off the right off your computer. If you
Oh,
have
no,
that.
really? I don't even have to.
Yeah. You don't even
Oh,
have to bring it
I
in
have
there.
to. I have to set a setting probably in my
Right.
capture. Okay.
Yep.
No, we won't get into that right now. But yeah, I love Snagit. I use it all the time. Oh, grab text. Grab that and just do that. Let's see what I get. Bam, got it. So there's my results. Can't move that screen over here. Oh, trust me, it came up just like it did before. So
Yeah.
Yeah, it works. So there's lots of ways to do that.
So
Anyway, I hope.
ProRes CAD has a built-in PDF DWG converter.
Who?
PROGE. I'm not sure how you pronounce that.
Okay.
Anyway,
Projet CAD.
Projet CAD.
Must be French. I don't know.
Yeah.
If you guys have a URL to some programs that you use, stick them in there and we can check them out quick. But all right, cool. So
Are you ready
what
for
else?
questions?
Yeah, absolutely.
Why don't you do this one? Do this one really quick while I sort some more out here.
All right. Oh, I'm sorry.
Make a custom line type.
How easy or hard is it to make a custom line type? Oh my God, you can't do that. Yes, you can. Let's see. So I need to go to CAD, and I need to go to lines, and I need to go to lines. Is it line style management? I haven't done this in a while.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Line style management, and I want to create a new line type. So you click new right here. So you click new, and I'm going to add a dash, a dot, and ABC. And then I'm going to add a dot and a dash. Okay, so there's my new custom line style. Now I can hit, you can specify the length of the lines. Each of these can have, see how they have, you can specify how long they are. You can insert, I don't know, insert before or after means, I'm not sure. You can change the number style, you can change the font, the size, all of that stuff can be changed as part of this. And then you click OK, and there's your new custom line style. And even better yet, you can now click Add to Library, and you can now create your own library full of custom line styles. Whenever you need to use them, you simply, come on, what are you doing, computer? Stuck.
So
Hello.
whenever I've created a new custom line style, I've had to put it in the library to use it. Do you have to do that, or
yeah, I think so, because I don't think I think otherwise it's only going to be saved in the line styles for this particular plan.
Right.
Just like
even
walls.
To use it on this plan, I had to put it in the library.
Okay. Well, I would think you could just, well, maybe, I don't know.
That's what I thought too. I don't think you can use it from there.
Well, whatever. Just put it in the library and draw with it.
Right. That's what I always did, but I just wanted to make sure I didn't miss something.
I don't think so. But if I go if I draw a line and I click on it and I open its dialog and I go to line style, is it on the list here now? It should be at the bottom of the list. There it is.
I guess it is.
So
okay.
it is part of the plan, but only part of this plan.
There.
It's not part of any other plan. So yeah, you can create your whole library full of custom line styles. So that was pretty hard. I don't know how you could probably figure that out.
So here's a question.
Sorry, I'm being goofy.
You've been burning the candle at both ends, Dan. So
you're absolutely right.
As far as being online and stuff.
I was up really late last night, so I did burn that candle. So after I'm done with this, I'm going to take a nap.
So when adding a firred out wall inside a concrete basement, is it better to add the wall and check the firred box, or is it better to create an entirely new wall type that encompasses the concrete wall, the air gap, and the new interior wall?
Here's why you want to create those as separate walls. All right. So when you're drawing a plan, I'll just draw it. I'm going to go ahead and draw a box here, and I'll create a foundation. I'll show you what happens. If you don't care about the cross sections or the framing, then it doesn't matter. You could create it as one wall. But if you want to do a cross section through the model and have it work correctly, if you want the right square footage to the block instead of the framing, there's some variations that you want to consider there. So let me just go throw a foundation in here quick. And then I'm going to go grab a wall I have in my library. Wall type called interior floor furring with an air gap. Okay, so I've got a wall set up with a 1-inch air gap, and that's going to go against the concrete. And then I've got a 3.5-inch frame, a 1/2-inch drywall. Okay, and you can check this layer to be, insulation if you want to be. And then I'm going to go ahead and draw that. So the first thing I always do is draw one in my plan, and then I open its dialog box. I haven't, we can't set this wall type up, or can we now? But we probably could, to be a firred wall. I haven't looked at this for a long
No,
time.
I don't think you can.
So that's under structure. So we want to name it a firred wall. Anytime you have a wall against another wall, you want to call it a firred wall. Okay, that's just, you really got to do that. Otherwise, it can mess up your plan. So if I didn't call this a firred wall and I put it against this wall, it potentially could create a room in there. So if I change the ceiling height of this space, it wouldn't change the ceiling height of that gap, even though you don't see a gap. So you got to be careful. Making a firred wall takes care of that. So now I could just go in here and I just kind of go like this, and I'll trace it around like this. And then, if I want to finish it off with some interior walls, I'll just do this, and I can run that into that. And then I just push these against the outer wall. The cool thing about this, doing it like this, is when I frame the plan now. So if I frame that wall, okay, and I do a cross section through that, the bottom plate's going to be sitting on top of the concrete.
Mhm.
If I don't do it like this, the bottom plate would be sitting on top of the footer. Okay, so it'll come all the way down here because that wall would be all one big object. Chief wanted
Right.
adapt for that.
Right.
Plus the other benefits of doing it like this are when I do a room label now, see how it's not going to the concrete? It's going to this. So, but it's still going to give me the square footage all the way to that wall, I think. I don't know for sure, but it really
pull the wall away from. You did pull the wall away from it, right?
I did. Let me
Yeah.
throw a name in here for something. I'll call it a bedroom. So we got 479. Yeah, it's the same. So I think it's counting. It counts all the way to the concrete. I don't know if that's right or wrong, but that.
Okay. We're getting a lot of questions, so I'm going to start shortening your answers. Okay.
Okay. One last thing.
Right.
One last benefit of doing it like this is you can, if you have pony walls or stepped walls, you can break them and change the firred wall inside of the concrete wall. So this might be wood on the top. This might be firred on the bottom. So anyway, there you go. Okay, go.
Okay. Can you put a window in there quick?
Into the double wall?
Yep.
Okay. I suppose you want to see it, huh?
Mm-hmm. So any setting?
Oh, for the window?
Settings for that?
Yeah, for double walls, you have under the casing, you have double through. You can do enlarged. You can do double or not through. So through, it's going to put it through and just put a little extension jam on it. Enlarged is going to treat it like this, where the sheetrock is going to wrap around into the casing. So it gives you a little bit different look. And then I think double would put 2 windows in that same spot. So you got an inside and outside window, 1 in each wall. Sometimes if you have a door, you might want 2 doors. I think that would put 2 doors in there. And then not through, it's not going to put it through both walls. Other than that, I don't think there's any settings, is there?
I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah. They do work well. Okay. What else?
Here we go. Here's a good one. Dropping a hallway ceiling for ducts causes half the house ceiling to drop, including the hall. I use something other than adjusting the ceiling in the hallway. Here's what
you want to do for that. Okay. So if I've got a room here, I got a bathroom that's got a drop ceiling. If I drop the ceiling in here, that means this floor above is going to drop down into this room. I don't want that. So what I need to do is go in here to that room, and I need to go to structure, and I need to go to the ceiling structure. I'll leave the ceiling structure set to 5.5, but I'm going to go edit the ceiling finish. And I don't remember if it matters if you do it in this one or this one. I did it the other day in this one and it worked fine. So what I'm going to do
When you go to frame it or model it or show a section, it will show it differently depending on which one you pick, I think.
I don't know. Let's check that real quick. So I'm going to insert a couple layers. Okay, I'm gonna leave the drywall at 5/8. I'm going to change this to framing. Okay, so I'll make that some framing. I'll just make it for framing, and I'll make it 5.5 inches, 2x6, and then I'm going to make this a 12-inch air gap. Okay, so now I've essentially got two ceilings. I got the one that is going to be the floor, and I'm creating a drop ceiling in the room below. So now I'm going to call this insulation air gap. Okay, and I'll make that 12 inches tall. So this is what I've created. So you can just look at it right here. There's my air gap, framing, drywall. Click OK. Click OK. So now if I do a cross section through that, you will see, whoops, straighten that out. Come on. There's your drop ceiling, and it's not going to mess with that. So if I go add a second floor here, it's not going to mess with the floor at all. The floor will just build right over it. And there's my air gap right there. So that's created a different ceiling. And if I go frame all of this, let's just run through the floor framing. Let's go ahead and build the floor framing, ceiling framing. I don't have a build ceiling framing here. So we may have to put the framing as part of the actual framing thing. So let's go do that real quick. Let me change that quick. So I'll go into the structure again. Let me go set this back and delete these two. Put that back the way it was. I'll go edit this. I'll go insert below. 5.5 plus a 12-inch air gap. And this top one, that'll end up being the floor joist once, in a second floor situation. So that chief will adjust for that automatically, I believe. Insulation air gap. There you are. Click OK and OK. Now it's showing the framing there. Let's see what happens in our cross section. So let's go build our framing again and see if we get our build ceiling framing. Still not getting a build ceiling framing here. Built my floor joists. Okay. Yeah. I get that, but that's not going to build the ceiling. Come on, I just made this work the other day. What did I do? I'm not getting my framing. Huh. I don't know. What's different, John?
You're on the first floor where you have that room?
Well, I just double click on the framing, and I'm going to say, I made this room bigger, so now there will be ceiling framing there. Because it wasn't picking up that I wanted ceiling framing there. And it's still not picking it up. All right, I don't know. We're not going to spend time on it right now, but that's how I do it.
You didn't do it with a soffit before, did you, or something like that?
No, I did it exactly like I did here, and it worked perfect. I got the framing in and everything. Here I'm not getting anything now.
Once you figure out how to do the framing, the other cool thing about this is go back to that. Something was weird there.
Where? In that cross section?
In the elevation, in the cross section. Why is it showing the floor framing just underneath that one room?
I don't know. That's what I was just going to go check. So because I'm going really fast here, I probably screwed something up. All right. So,
anyway, what I was going to say is doing it this way, you could also make this a room type, couldn't you?
What do you mean?
With the drop ceiling, like if you had this was a common thing that you did.
I suppose
you could make a hallway with a drop ceiling and just have the hallway be wherever it's dropped, be that room type.
Yeah, you could define
like that.
Absolutely. You could define let's say you got a hall and we want to make a copy of that, and we'll call it hall with drop ceiling. And then I could go in and select this, and then I could go under structure and set up what I was just doing there. Edit, add that stuff in. So when I use that room name, it would automatically put in that whatever you've specified here. Let's try that real quick. Let's go back to the way I was doing it before. So let's insert above 5.5. I tell you, I've been working on some really weird stuff lately, and she's been kicking my butt. I don't know what's going on with it as far as if there's some bugs going on or something. I'm using your 13. I'm not even using 14. Let's see. I want to get to what am I doing here? Framing. For framing. There we go. For framing. And it shouldn't matter if I'm using insulation air gap. Okay. 12 inches. Okay. So now when I use that room name, so let's build a little hallway here. And I'm going to name that hall with drop ceiling. Click OK. If I do a cross section through that, did it do it? It did it, by golly.
Look at that.
Look at that.
Cool. I love these shows when people ask questions like that.
Just got to figure it out. Yeah.
Yeah. So another way to do that.
Go ahead.
Another way to do that, you could have just put a custom ceiling in that room too.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Just use trouble with that sometimes is if you draw a custom ceiling plane in here and you have walls on the floor above, that acts like a roof. It'll cut those walls off sometimes.
Oh, really?
I've had that happen on plans where I just like shoot, and then I couldn't use that custom ceiling.
Right.
Again, why it's not framing it like it normally does, I don't know. I'd have to go play with this a little bit, but that's generally how you do it. So try it both ways. Try it with the bottom one or the top one and see which one gets it to work. Next, what else we got?
How would you show a double top plate on a concrete wall?
You go to is it the walls setup?
It's under
wall type.
It's under foundation, isn't it? Is it
yeah, you're right. It's not under the wall type. So that's a foundation default. Can we do that by room? I think we can do that by room too. Under structure, slab pour, maybe not. That might be a framing. Let's check our defaults here. So we're going to look at foundation defaults. I don't think it's there. I think it's in part of framing.
It's under one of those tabs on the side there.
Option.
I can't see the stuff. It's too small on the screen. Look at edit default foundation wall.
This one.
No, the next one down. That one, yeah.
Oh, that just opened up the wall dialog, and here, yeah, there it is. Sill plates, but that's below. Is that below or above?
That's above.
We'll have fun. We'll throw 4 of them on that bad boy. Okay, and then if I frame this, build my framing.
You shouldn't even have to build your framing. It should have pushed the foundation down. So that it was showing.
Yeah.
Did it not do it?
No, I didn't do it. So, but that's how you do it. And you can set that as a default for your whole plan under, again, that was under foundation. And then default foundation wall. And then number of plates, sill plates. That'll be on top of that wall. I've done this before and I know it works. I just don't, again, I'm trying to go really fast here, not paying it. It's hard to pay perfect attention to everything I'm doing when I'm going 1 million miles an hour.
Here's a question.
Yeah.
Have you been having this happen? I have. And I haven't taken the time to figure it out.
Not centered on my screen. The view opens high and to the left. All right.
It's really small and high on the left when you open it.
Generally, when that happens, that means you got something off. I mean, not always, but generally. Here, let me just go full screen. I don't know why we need to be showing. When that happens, generally that means you've got something drawn off to the, somewhere over off to the edge. Something can get moved inadvertently. You accidentally put the wrong coordinates on something. I mean, there's lots of reasons why it can happen. Let's see if I do an elevation here. There's my little elevation. It's because there's something off over to the edge over there. Okay. So that's generally why that happens. So what I normally do is I go to my screen on each floor and I hit Control A. Control A will select everything on your screen. If the layer for that item's locked, it won't work. So make sure you go to All Layers On, modify that, make sure on the All Layers On that nothing is locked. Make sure there are no layers locked, because sometimes if the layer's locked, it won't find it. And when you do that, Control A, and then make sure everything is displayed. Okay, so make sure everything is checked in for the all on layer set. And then when you do the Control A, you should find that. Another way to do it, just to mark, just marquee select each edge of your plan until you find it. If you still don't find it, if the little plan is over here to the left, that means there's probably something over here. You could always try an edit area. Edit area, all floors. Draw a marquee around that part of the screen, which I'm, see if I can get to that thing I drew. Yeah, there it is. Okay. So I can do an edit area, all screen, and delete. And then you should be able to tell too, if you do a fill all, F6 on the floor plan, it should fill that way too. Otherwise it might fill like that. One way or another, there's something in your plan causing that.
X13 has that new settings too, where you can automatically set the camera to have a certain width and a certain height.
Oh yeah.
That would be something to look at, maybe.
Clip width, clip
as
size.
a default of the camera, you can do it.
Yeah, I just double clicked on that. Or that you're talking about each individual camera can have that.
Each individual camera could be different too.
Yeah,
I think if it's a saved camera,
you can. That's right, because you can go on a camera. You can tell it to.
It's right down here.
Clip the sides after a certain number of inches. Yep. Your mine's 600 inches. So if I set that camera after 24 inches, clip the sides. So when I, well, that's not the camera I wanted. I wanted this one.
You can do it in the elevation too.
There it is. Yeah. So this is the one I was doing. So when I look at my elevation for, what do I got going on there?
You got 24 inches wide of your house there.
Oh yeah, look at that.
You didn't set the elevation though. You need to set the elevation of it.
I thought I did.
No, you just did the width. There's another button you had to check to give you the option to set the elevation of it.
Damn, there's always another button.
Right there.
All right.
That's a negative number for the bottom and a positive number for the top.
All right. Guess it. There's always another button. Yeah, so now it's not so high, but yeah. So then I could go in there, I think, and manually click on it to drag it out. I think I can do that to expand that, I think.
There's a good point here too.
Yeah, there you go.
In the saved plan view, if you check the box next to remember location and zoom, then anytime you leave the plan view and its position has changed, you will
That's true.
Save the plan view.
Problem is with elevations, you don't have plan views, do we? So if I go into an elevation, I have a layer set, I have a default set, but I don't have a plan view.
Yeah, so, that's true.
So I have no way to save that view in that camera, I don't think. Let's try this. Edit. Let's hit save active view. And let's try that and see if that opens up now. Okay, so that did work. So hit save. So we don't have a list of plan views, but when you're in an elevation and you're zoomed into a spot, we can tell Chief to remember where that camera left off by clicking the save active view. And then when you close that camera, you can click on it and it should open up to that zoomed spot. So yeah, it does work.
Okay.
Cool. Good point.
Can you show, please explain the convert to symbol tool and explain how to use it, how it is useful.
Convert to symbol. What are we converting to a symbol? Are we talking about creating a library item? I'm not. Convert to symbol. Any item?
Any item.
Well, here, I'll show you something I just did last night. So I'm working on a plan, and I needed to create some different things. Let's see, it was this one right here. So we're doing a house that owner wants some Victorian embellishments on the house. And one of the things they want is some brackets on their porch that are Star of Texas.
Oh, cool.
Like that. So I made that last night. I made these little things up here. So that is I made that into a symbol. All right. So all I did to make that, let me turn the shadows off. There, you can see that better now. First of all, I went online and I found a picture of the bracket we wanted. So that was helpful, because Mike's saying, I want a Star of Texas there. And I thought, what the hell is that? I live in Minnesota. I don't know what Star of Texas is, but now I do. So anyway, so this is what I ended up with my CAD drawing. Okay. So I had to, here's the picture that I scaled that picture to about 12 inches. That's kind of what I wanted. And I traced over it and I created the different shapes that I wanted. Okay. So I created that one, and then I did a reflected copy over there. Then I created 2 circles, and the star was the hardest part to create because I was trying to use this reflect 5 times to get those pointers on there, and it didn't work. Anyway, I got it drawn. Looks like this. And when it's all said and done, after I joined all the elements together, so again, when you're going to use a little tool here that can join things together, it's this tool. Let's see, it didn't work here because this is not a circle. Okay, I had to convert that circle back to a CAD line, and then it worked. It was one of those weird things. I'm looking for these tools right here. So I can join these elements together now by hitting this tool right here, make a new outline. And there's my outline. Same thing I did with the star. And so that's how I ended up getting to this point where I had this drawing. Okay. So then this is 1.5 inches tall, and this is 3/4 of an inch tall. So when I go look at that, I think it's laying out here somewhere. By the way, if you're rolling in your mouse and it goes too fast, hold your control key down and it slows it down. Oh, that was the gable end. Here's that bracket. Okay, so there's what I got. So there's my 3D object. So then I would click on this, and then I'm going to click this little chair icon here. Convert selected to a symbol. So anything, pretty much anything you click on your plan now, you can click that button and you'll make a 3D symbol out of it. So I wanted that to be a millwork. I want to show advanced options. Click OK. Here it is laying down. I need to stand it up, so I had to rotate it standing up. Okay, so now I can see the Z is going up and down. You can use the rotate any way you want. You have different things to do on it. You know, here I go Star of Texas, and oops, my caps are on, and that's in my library now. So I'll have access to that forever if I want to. In fact, I started creating a little library full of some things I was doing called, what was that again? I called it, did I call that? It's under this one. I was calling it gingerbread. So there's that thing I created. I created that, and I wanted more of a custom post on the porch. So actually I found that online, but the little things above the brackets, I just made a little profile and I attached those to a molding. So it's just little things like you can make anything into a 3D object, but that's how you convert anything to a 3D object. So anything you click on, you can make into a new object. So if I click on those double windows, make them into a new item, these different elements do different things. The Windows one, they still have screwed up. It doesn't insert into the wall properly. You got to make lots of adjustments to it. Anyway, but most of them work just fine. So,
and if it's a post or something like that you're trying to convert, you can actually set it up so it will stretch in the middle of the post and not the ends of the post.
That's where I was
Like
getting nuts last night. I was trying to get this post to stretch to the right places. It wasn't working for me. It just was not working for me. It's driving me freaking nuts. I just finally gave up on it and added ends onto it and made it a new object. I've done it many times, John, and it works fine. So when you click on something, like I'll click, no, that's not a symbol. There's an object. So if I go edit that object,
and
you can
show us where that button was again, the chair.
Oh, sorry. So you can click on it here. Let me just go into my library. You can do the same thing from a library. Click on an object. So if I want to click on that turn column, I can right click on it. And there's that little chair. Okay. That's the same symbol. You can do it right from the library without even having to put it in your plan. So if I want to open that symbol and do something to it, and then I would go to sizing, and then typically you would set some stretch points, which I thought I did right, but I could not get it to work. I could not get it to stretch where I wanted to for some reason. I don't know why. So anyway, I just made it the right size. But these stretch points make it so that when I stretch this post out, it only stretches this. It doesn't mess up all the things in between.
Looks like they're too far apart.
Oh, that's just me playing with different things again, trying to get it to work. I could not get it to go. I tried 2 and 6. Just technically 2 and 6 now it should stretch in between here. When I pull that down, it should just only stretch that. But it didn't work. So don't know why. Anyway, I don't need to bore you with my problems, but just know that you're not the only one that has trouble with things.
Yes.
So let me go to that post quick and see. It's not there. All right, never mind. I think we're about done, aren't we? Do you have any?
I got one more question. One more question here.
Yep.
When I delete attic walls that are not working correctly and then they don't regenerate, how do I make the software regenerate the attic walls, especially in the gables?
All right. The reason it's not regenerating, let me go ahead and add a gable roof to this house. I'll make those gable walls and then I'll go build the roof. Attic walls are walls that are generated by the program automatically. All right. And I'll just turn that off. And so when I go up in my plan, there's some attic walls. Chief just generated those for me. So what happens is sometimes, they're in the wrong place. You want to replace them with a different wall or something like that, or you just want to get rid of them. So you hit delete. It says, yeah, it's going to modify that. Okay, that's cool. So now it goes away. It's gone here in 3D. Well, what Chief just did is it just made it invisible. I don't know if that message says that, but here's what it did. It made that wall invisible. So until you delete that invisible wall, it will not regenerate. Once I delete that you can only do it from the floor plan. You can't select an invisible wall in 3D. So there I deleted it and now it regenerated. So that's what you have to do sometimes.
Sometimes if you've pulled on the wall to change the wall height, in the elevation there, it won't regenerate either, I don't think. If you pull the lower wall down or something.
Yeah, you just whatever, you're changing it somehow.
Right.
Here it's not going to go down below that point there. Let me I'll just do that. But here it keeps regenerating. So every time I do that, what program's doing is it's automatically regenerating it. It's not locking it into place. Sometimes I'm working on plans and it's like, it keeps putting these attic walls in. I don't want them there. A good example might be if you have a lip on your foundation for a brick wall or something, the Chief keeps building these walls up on the outside. Or another thing is your plan's running slow because every time you touch something, every time you open and close the dialog box in Chief, it's regenerating the 3D model. So what you have to do in those cases is go shut the auto rebuild off. You go to 3D view defaults and you go here and you turn auto rebuild walls, floor, ceilings off. And just remember that when you do something, if it doesn't change, hit F12 on your keyboard and that will do that function. So I just was working with a client that the plan, you had to wait 10 seconds every time you did something. As soon as we turned that off, we're fine. Okay, so keep that in mind on larger projects. But in order to get the 3D to look correct, you do have to hit F12. So if I turn that off now I can stretch my attic walls and they'll stay in place. Actually, this one is not. I don't know why not. Let's make it not an attic wall. Let's uncheck that. I didn't think that mattered. Oh, the roof is doing its job, although that's really weird. Normally I can do that. I'm getting all these stupid breaks in here too. Oh, that's because I did that ceiling different. All right. I don't know what was just happening there. But if I delete that wall and if I go delete the invisible wall below it, come on, where's my floor plan for that? So if I go, see, there is no invisible wall now. So Chief's not regenerating anything. But as soon as I hit F12, it's going to put that wall back in. So there you go. All right. Thanks, guys. That was fun.
So
Good question.
This comment right here, I wanted to make a little comment about this. I used to think the same thing.
What was that comment?
This comment, where'd it go? This one right here. Chief Architect's a program that you trick into doing what you want.
Sometimes.
It used to be that way a lot more, but the more I understand the program more, and the more I work on it, and the more things I do, it's absolutely amazing. And it's just doing what I told it to do when it's not acting right.
Yeah, sometimes the program lulls us into this false sense of that it knows what it's really doing.
Right.
Okay. With all that automatic function, like the attic walls, that what it was just doing, or the auto roofs, or the auto framing, or the auto this and that. It's like, oh, cool, this thing is thinking for me. Well, it's not. The program's really stupid when it comes to that kind of intelligence. It doesn't have any kind of a database that says, yeah, you got to have this kind of floor joist here. All you're doing is creating a bunch of boxes on your screen that hold things. And if you got the right size boxes, you'll get better. It may not put them in the right place. So you got to adjust the boxes that are in the boxes. And it's a CAD program. So treat it like a CAD program. If you need something somewhere to look like something, create it. It's a CAD program. And yeah, we teach that a lot in our classes. And I think, John, you picked up on that right away when you came to my class, and we talked about that. And it does. That's
when it started really making sense.
And I've had a lot of clients say that. It's just like, oh yeah, if I think about it like a CAD program, XYZ, and some of that stuff, it's like, oh, that makes perfect sense, because that's what it is.
And believe me, I have my office on the 3rd story of our house, and this program has been out the window several times over the last 10, 12 years.
The program or the thing the program's on?
The program. Yeah. I've had my share of frustration with it, so
it is.
I understand where that comment was coming from.
That's part of the fun of Chief, is figuring that stuff out. And other times it's like, you got to get something done. It's like, I don't have time to deal with that shit. It's like, you just do what it is anyway. But
here's a nice comment from Mary.
Cool. Thank you, Mary. I appreciate that.
It's the best investment she ever made.
Love it.
Best purchase ever.
Best purchase ever. Cool. Well, great to have you on board, Mary, and I hope everything's going well in Nevada there. So I talked with Mary for a month. She's starting a business doing design down there, and so good luck with all of that. All right, you guys, thank you. Have a great weekend, and we will see you next time. Couple weeks. Don't have a topic yet. Who knows? Maybe we'll just do this again. It's always kind of fun. All right. See you, everybody.
We'll see ya.